Professor Boyce Watkins teaches at Syracuse University. He is an outspoken critic on the subjects of blacks in pro sports. And with me here, defense attorney Jeffrey Steinberger. Welcome to the two of you. Jeffrey, there has been some extremely harsh criticism of Mr. Vick in the last couple of days. I'm going to put up on the screen a little bit of what has been said. Put this monster in a cage where he belongs, not on a football field. The executive director of People Protecting Animals and Their Habitat says humans, even star athletes who exploit and hurt the vulnerable, whether people or animals, are cowards. So whatever happened to the whole idea of innocent until proven guilty?
Paula, in this country, athletes can beat their wives, but they can't beat their dogs. Vick has got an uphill battle here. He's got an uphill battle to fight. He's got one. The NFL has already made judgment on him. He's got a suspension that all the public knows about. And
they're not calling it officially a suspension. They're just saying he can't join the team.
Well, what does that mean? What does that mean if he didn't call it a suspension? Why'd they suspend him? He must have done something wrong. People don't make all these little finite decisions. They figure it out and they say, you know, my gut feeling is, why would the NFL suspend him if he didn't do anything wrong?
Well, isn't that what usually happens when there's an indictment that comes down? They're
not necessarily.
Buying themselves time?
Well,
so you think he's being unfairly treated?
I think he's, first of all, being unfairly treated because he has a right to trial, and he's presumed innocent until proven guilty. Absolutely. But he's got an uphill battle for two reasons. He's got one, he's got dogs involved, and this country loves dogs. And two, he's in a physical sport. And the general public implicates that into general violence. And so, you know, they see him smashing around every Sunday, beating people up, and they think, well, this is a violent guy, you know, maybe he could be violent with dogs. And the transition just goes right over into, you know, he's part of dog fighting. This is a natural consequence.
Well, Boyce, I think anybody would have to acknowledge that this player is under intense scrutiny, particularly because of his celebrity. And today, the American Dog Owners Association said this: with fight purses as high as $100,000, dog fighting is a multi-million-dollar business that must not be ignored. The NFL runs the most popular sport in the United States and therefore has a responsibility to making an example out of Michael Vick.
Wow.
What's your reaction to that?
I'll tell you what. You know what? Dogfighting is a terrible crime. And I know that there are people that want to hunt him down like George Bush at an Al-Qaeda camp. But the fact is that his name is Michael Vick, not Michael Convict. And for some reason, Paula, I woke up in a country that we call America, in which there is a judicial system that is allowed to run its course and is not allowed to be terrorized by people with their own agenda. The fact is that we have to let the facts be laid out, and the heinousness of an alleged crime does not provide unconditional justification for your method of attempting to prosecute that crime. So bottom line, PETA, whoever you are, slow your damn roll a little bit, because we don't know if this guy's guilty or not.
We may not know the answer to that question, but look at what is at stake for this man. We talked about his $100 million plus contract,
yes,
and we know the endorsements could add up to tens and tens of millions of dollars, and we've already seen some of that stuff pulled. Nike dropped all their ties.
He's got a $130 million 10-year contract with the Atlanta Falcons. He's got over a $50 million contract with Nike for endorsements. He's got the rest of his life is at stake. He's got 6 years in prison, facing 6 years in jail, and $300,000 fine from the court system, plus probation, parole, plus the reputation, plus the loss of his whole family reputation. I mean, it's a horrendous thing.
Before we go any further, I need to correct something. Nike has not called has not dropped his contract. PETA is calling on Nike.
Good for them.
To pull. They're doing good for them?
Well,
do you think that's appropriate for PETA to make that kind of push before they know whether he's guilty of this or not?
Well, no,
not before he's guilty. He's got to be proven guilty.
Right.
And why would Nike pull the endorsements? Nike pulls the endorsements for the time being. Michael Vick has to sit.
Hasn't happened yet.
It hasn't happened yet. That's right. He's calling for it. It hasn't happened yet. And Michael Vick has to just play this out and stay innocent and not do anything that's stupid and silly and not buy into the media press and not do any interviews and not do anything that in any way causes him to go sideways.
Boyce, you get the last word.
But Michael Vick, Michael Vick also needs a moment of clarity. He needs to understand that if he is associated with individuals who are engaged in this kind of activity, or if he's involved himself, he needs to realize that if he makes that kind of mistake, he can end up becoming the Mike Tyson of professional football. The fact is that every great leap you've done, every run you've made, everything, every two-a-day practice you put in could all be thrown away, and your mother could end up crying at the end of the day. So I don't know if he did this or not. I want to make that clear. And dogfighting is horrible. want to make that clear also. But the fact is that PETA needs to back off and let the justice system do its job.
They all need to back off because he's innocent until presumed guilty. This is a celebrity brouhaha. This is a celebrity media trial, and we keep doing that to all these people, and we don't know if he's guilty yet. He still is innocent, and he's going to be presumed innocent until he gets into a court of law, and all these people who are speaking out have to be sworn in under penalty of perjury.
Well, we did not indict him tonight.
Well, thank you very much. That was good. That feels good to my defense heart.
Oh, good. Boyce Watkins, Jeffrey Steinberg.